Hey everyone, Jack Hilton here, aka Unsung Empath, with another video of what it's like to be a psychotherapist and a social worker. Since my last video, I've got a lav mic and a little light ring thing, just to provide a better quality experience when watching my videos. Congratulations. I wanted to use this as an opportunity to talk a little bit about my future plans with this channel, as well as books that I recommend. So let's touch a little bit about the plans. With my experience as a TV news reporter, as I shared in my previous videos, I plan to have some professionals in the industry join me in an interview kind of style to talk a little bit about their experience in social work and how they've used their degrees to kind of market themselves and really apply their degree to making their dreams happen. I think sometimes we graduate with a social work degree and it's so broad and we're kind of like, now what? And it's going to be an amazing experience to hear all the avenues you can go with an MSW master's degree. So to my next point, I want to talk a little bit about books I recommend. One of them being top of my list, The Body Keeps the Score. I touched upon this recently on my TikTok video, and it was quite brief, about like 15 seconds, listing 3 books I recommended. This is one I really recommend. The reason why is, as professionals in this industry, we come across with a lot of individuals with an extensive trauma history. And sometimes some of them aren't quite obvious. And it really requires us to work with the individual and help them identify trauma that might manifest in the ways that they interact with others. I call those kind of body memories or trauma memories. Sometimes we think that trauma is something that you always kind of remember, but as some of you may know, and if you don't, this is kind of a brief psychoeducation, is when trauma happens, your prefrontal cortex shuts down. It's in charge of reasoning, and it interrupts the hippocampus in charge of memory. As my old teacher, Brad Beasley, once said, "You'll never forget the time you saw a hippo on campus." It's in charge of memory, so you'll never forget that saying. So you always know hippocampus, it's in charge of the memory. So oftentimes, memory is probably not the best resource of how an individual is experiencing trauma. Usually, it's through the body or the feelings. So the intense anger that they might have, the tightness in their chest, those could all be great indicators that they're having trauma memories. We often also think that trauma is this one thing that happens and that's it. Trauma actually really rewires our brain and really can begin to have some long-term effects. It isn't just this, oh, car accident happens and we're good. For some people, it could really teach their brain, I'll say kind of teach, but encode in their brain, cars are dangerous. You better stay inside. It's safer inside. And for some people, that can really, agoraphobia could develop. So understanding how trauma lives in our bodies can really help not just yourself as professionals, but our clients understand that it's nothing that they're doing on purpose or they're not trying hard enough. It's actually something that is a physiological change that they're also having to work against. Same thing with depression. Depression can actually shrink your brain, and it's a physiological thing that they now have to work with to encourage neuroplasticity, right? We know that your brain can mold and develop still. And as professionals, it's important to always be updating ourselves with what's out there. Another book I recommend is somebody who trained with Bessel van der Kolk, but from Janina Fisher, Healing the Fragmented Selves of Trauma Survivors. And this talks a lot about different other modalities like internal family systems, structural dissociation, sensory motor psychotherapy, which is excellent because it's body therapy, essentially, understanding how parts and individuals hold on to trauma. Even though they're a lot older, parts of them are still experiencing the burdens of childhood trauma events that happen in their lives. And I think it's just a great book, as well as very clear, and I think it's user-friendly to really understand how some individuals truly live with some of these responses. But those are 2 books I really recommend. I think they're a must read, honestly, for professionals. They also offer different trainings that I've taken, and I encourage anyone to, if you see anything offered by the two of them, to take that as an opportunity to really advance your practice. I think, as I mentioned in a previous video, it really helps you hone in a specific niche. And it's kind of weird that we're talking a little bit about like trauma therapy being a niche, because I think as professionals, we should kind of be informed and kind of have that as something we already factor into our practice. Because as also some of these books will explain upon, is trauma can actually manifest itself as psychotic symptoms or even manic behaviors or aggressive behaviors. So also knowing that trauma can really impact an individual in that way is crucial in the way that we even diagnose. So if you have any questions, please put in the comment sections. If you have any recommended readings that you want to share with other people, let us know. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a great one.